Hello, welcome back. So far we have looked at a few settings. We are going to dive right into the meat of the whole thing. How are you going to modify your course? As I said earlier on, I would have already created for you a course which you're going to work with. Now, there are many things which you're going to see, and for the moment, I'm going to divide them into several sections so that you can go back to each section in case you're stuck and just see what you want to do. Now, I highly suggest that you have at least a laptop or something where you're practicing from, maybe your tablet or whatever you're going to use, so that you can try it out. You're going to create your course and, follow along as I go ahead, modify your things as I modify these ones, and you shall get along very well. I know that there are many things which may confuse you for the moment, but trust me, if you get it, it's simple. It is really easy to do. So teachers, let's get cracking. We're going to see how we can modify the course so that we can start teaching our children. Now just pay attention and stay tuned. Now the first part we're going to look at is the general settings. This is a screen that you'll see once you've logged in. Once again, if you don't know how to log in or how to get here, please go back to my previous videos. You'll be able to see them. Now, you will see that the first thing, as I mentioned in the previous video, is enable editing when you're going to edit your course. So click on that arrow next to the gear and then say turn editing on. Once you've done that, you're going to see several things. You'll see pencils on the side, etc., etc. You see the edit menu will be appearing on the right here. Add activity or resource. We're going to look at these individually. Now, the very first part we're going to look at is the general. You see this general part? This is what appears at the at the top of your course, of your class. When a student logs in, this is what they first see. You're able to edit them. Now, when you see the pencil, it means you can modify this very word general here. For example, you may not want the word general. You may want to say welcome. So you click on the pencil over here and then you just type welcome. Welcome, and you press enter. Once you press enter, the word will change from general to welcome. Now, what appears under the welcome, you can edit it on the right over here. You click on edit and say edit section. Now, here is a good idea for you to put details maybe about the course. You can say maybe you're going to learn about coronavirus. You can say, for example, this is a quick course about the coronavirus. Please pay attention and make sure that you fill in the quizzes and quizzes double Z and answer and hand in your work in time. All right, now there are several options. As you can see up here, you see this arrow, it shows you more buttons. When you click, you'll notice that you have many more. You may have been wondering where are these ones hidden. They are hidden because of that button. You can click there to hide it and to show it. Now in the first one, you can select the paragraph styles, you want a heading, etc., etc. And of course, remember, please select what you want to, first of all, what you want to edit before you click on the button. So if I want to make this bold and italic, just click bold and click italic. That is it. If I want to put an ordered list or ordered list, a hyperlink, etc., etc., we're going to meet these as we go along. You might even want to put a video in here. You can click and record your video, or you can click and upload an audio or a video file. You can put a picture. You can even decide to use this one to manage your files, which you already have. All these underline, that is a strike through. Maybe some student has done something and you want to just cross it out without deleting what they wrote. Just use the strike through. For example, you could just select there and say strike through. That line appears. That shows that you didn't like what you saw or whatever it is. So I'm just removing that strike through. And then there's the superscript and the subscript. Subscript, superscript, left align, central line, right align. Then this is indent. If you want to outdent it or indent it, you use these two buttons. Then we have here the equation editor. For those of you who are going to do mathematics, who are going to put mathematical formulas, you'll find this one very useful. And then we have also insert character. There are certain characters, like special characters, you may want to insert the ampersand, the percentage, etc., etc. You click there and you'll find them. This one here inserts a table, and this one here you clear the formatting. For example, if you don't want this formatting here, you just click on that and it will remove it and take it back to where it was. This is the undo, and this one also is the accessibility checker. You know, for those who are maybe making courses for those who are impaired, for example, those who want to be using Braille or others, this one can check if your course is accessible, maybe with people with bad eyes, etc., etc. You put maybe some images that cannot be seen, blah blah blah. Please feel free to check it out. Then screen reader helper is there, and here if you want to use HTML, for those of you who are adventurers, for example, if I want to say I want to make this pay attention here to be in header 1, I could click here and just say heading large, or I say if I want to put my own formatting, click there, and then I say please pay attention, just put an HTML thing there, H1, pay attention. And of course, remember, if you know HTML, you know you have to close whatsoever you open. So when you click on that again, you'll see that pay attention is in capital letters. Yeah, so there's a lot more that you can do, but of course I'm going to remove that. Let me just put that way. You can add several things in this. Remember, what you're adding in the general appears on the front page, the very first things your students will see. Now, after you've done all your editing, you can decide and say, you go to the restrict access. You want to restrict, go ahead, but I recommend don't add any restrictions, unless maybe, for example, you want this to appear at a certain on a certain date, or after a student has achieved a certain grade, or maybe there's a certain profile restriction you want to put, or other sets of restrictions. You can explore these, but I don't recommend that you restrict, because unless it's really absolutely necessary. For example, you want to put that if a student has passed a course or a test, then they can see what you're putting up there. So you click Save Changes when you're done with that, and you'll see that your general part has been changed. You see up there, this is what we just typed in there. This is what students will see the moment they log in, the moment they open the course. Now, the next important part, which is under the general thing, is the announcements. Announcements are, for example, if you have something that you want your students to see, to know. Maybe today you're not feeling well, you're not going to make it to class, you're not going to add any new materials, or you want to remind them that they're supposed to be submitting in their courseworks very soon, or you want to make any other announcements. Just this is where you put it. Of course, just like the general, you can also edit this. Maybe you don't want the word announcements. You know, that makes it sound a bit too, I don't know, formal, whatever. Just click on edit title. You can change announcements to whatever you want it to be, but I'm going to leave it as it is for now. And then you can click on edit over here. Then you say edit settings. You can change the settings of the announcements, how they will be. For example, now, what is this? This is announcements. You can change the name from here. You can describe the announcements, and then you can say display on the course page if you want, description on course page. You can tick that. Availability, there's a lot more options that you can change. When will these announcements be available? For example, you may want it to appear only on a certain date. Then attachments and word counts, please feel free to scroll through these and test them out. Just going back, I'm going to cancel. I want announcements to remain they are. Now under announcements, you can click add an activity or resource, and you'll see several other things. This one, we're going to look at it in the next one. But what I want to do here, more of here, is to click on that. And yeah, this is if you want to add, to add what, maybe for example, you don't want certain users to see it in certain groups. You can tick that, and you can untick it as well that way. Now, when you click on announcements itself, it will take you to where you can add the new topics, the new announcements. Now here, no announcements have been posted yet. You can say a new topic. For example, you want to say a start of tutorials imminent. Then you're telling your students that please be informed that the class will start as soon as I'm done creating the content. Of course, you'll not put that, but I'm just saying if you want to make an announcement, and then you say post to forum. Now, there are several features which are available in Moodle, and one of the interesting ones is the ability for you to see what the student would see. Now, for in this instance, you'll go up here. You see where your name is. Here's test tutor. You click on this arrow that is pointing down, and then you say switch role to. Remember, earlier on we changed students to participants. If you recall in the previous video, so you click on participants, and then you'll see what the students would be able to see. So you see that this is what they would see when they log in. You'll first see the start of tutorials imminent. This is the announcement which was started by this person and that one. And the students have certain options. They can start this discussion, which means the announcement itself will appear as an important thing. They can see, they can click on it to read more. And then in that one, if they have the permission, they can edit it. And they can do a lot more things. They can permalink it and they can delete it if they have the permission. But of course, as a student, they will not be able to do that. All right, so that is what you can do with announcements. Obviously, there's a lot more that you can do. This is just only to show you the capabilities of the general tab. The announcements are very important. If you have updates you want to put during the course, please feel free to use that. We're going to look at the next section. Please, let's just take a small pause, and then we can be able to look at what is coming next. Now, as I mentioned earlier on in a previous video, Moodle arranges the course sections into topics. Now we're going to see how we can play about with our topics. Some of you may say, oh, I have very few topics. How am I going to do this? How am I going to change it? And etc. etc. That's what we're going to look at right now. Let's dive into it immediately. All right. Now this is where we left off earlier on. Remember, currently you're in the participants view. If you look up there, the students view, you just click up here and return to my normal role. You're going to be doing this a lot because you might be adding content and you want to see how will my students see this, so that you can have an idea of what they'll see in case they're going to have difficulties, etc. etc. So now I've clicked on that and we are back to the test tutors normal role. We're going to go back to the course. If you want to click there, Corona, and then you enable editing again, turn editing on. Now we are looking at below the announcements, there's topic 1 over here. You see this? There's topic 1, there's topic 2, there's topic 3. There's one thing you can do. You see this plus, this crosses on the side? You can click and drag it up. All right? You can move topic 2 to become topic 1 and etc. etc. You can do anything that you want to do. Now we are going to edit our topics in accordance with what we want to have. This is a course about the coronavirus. But before we do that, let's know that you can edit your topic by clicking on this pencil, and you can also edit the details by clicking over that edit thing. Now we're going to look for the course items. Let's go and get from the World Health Organization website. Let's just search coronavirus. I'm just searching online. You know, I'm creating a course from scratch. Then you scroll down here. I want to look for the one from World Health. That's it. Coronavirus disease. I want to create a course out of this so that we can see how to make our courses. You know, of course, when you're creating a course on maybe science or mathematics, etc., etc., you may be able to add the things that you want. All right, it's loaded. So we're going to look at, I want to just find out Where is this? Yeah, where are we going to get from? What is coronavirus? Let's do a new search. What is coronavirus? And we get that from the World Health Organization website, if we can get it from there. What is the coronavirus? What is coronavirus? Well, oh, we do have something here. That's it. Ministry of Health in Uganda has that. Okay, and also, yeah, there we go. Right, Ministry of Health is telling us a few things about coronavirus and its symptoms, etc., etc. So we are going to say, what is the coronavirus? Now, right here, we are looking at COVID-19, etc., etc. So we're going to ask ourselves, what is COVID-19? That's already our first topic, all right? So we're going to look at, they're going to edit this topic to, what is COVID-19. I think there's a hyphen there. All right, then you press enter. Now that is our first topic. You can decide to edit the more details about this. You can say edit topic, and you'll find that what is COVID-19 is already there. You can change it from there, or you can say this first section looks at the details of COVID-19. All right, and then you scroll down here and you save it. I'll just edit that to make it a small h and save changes. Once you've saved changes, we're going to look at, we're going to say coronavirus. Okay. Let me just pause a bit and get the relevant information then. All right, I managed to find that page which I was looking for. What is coronavirus and all that. This can create a whole course for us. So we are going to just copy and paste, but I really don't advise that you copy and paste for your students. Let them put these things in words that they can understand. It's not good to just copy and paste, you know. But for the sake of this course, we are going to just use this. So we're going back to our course topic here. We're going to add a section here, add an activity or a resource, and then we're going to say this activity or resource is going to be a web page. It's a page here. We're just creating a page, and then we're going to say add that, and then what is coronavirus? All right, so we're just going to paste that there. Coronavirus, blah blah blah. This is the description. Sorry, you're going to paste it down here in the content. Now the page content has been created. You can edit a lot more, but then here we're going to save and return to the course. Now we already have a topic here. What is coronavirus? As you can see, now you're able to change a lot of things over here. You can edit the coronavirus, this title, or you can edit the whole thing as it is. Now I selected the page because that's what most of you are going to be using. If you're going to type your notes, you're just going to use the page thing. It gives you a lot of flexibility. Okay, so that one, you have seen that. What is corona? What is COVID-19? We click there, and then it takes us back to this page here. Now we're going to look for another topic, topic 2. We go back to our Q&A. What are the symptoms of COVID-19? All right, the symptoms of COVID-19 are over here, for example, and then you're going to just go here to topic 2, and then you say, what are the symptoms of COVID-19? All right, and you enter, and then you're going to say add an activity or a resource, and you're going to make it, you're going to add a page here, and you say down here it says add. For those who can't see, when you click on add, it's the same thing, and then you're going to be able to just give it a second here. Great. So you're going to say what are this? Okay, just say symptoms. It's not good to repeat. Of corona. virus. Okay, now this upper part is the description. You're describing what you're going to put down there. You can just put symptoms over there. Now again, I advise you to please summarize it and explain it to your students. You know your teachers, you know how to do that best. Don't just copy and paste. All right, so we're going to look here at what they're saving this one, and of course there are the other tools I mentioned earlier on. You can still play about with them to highlight some things. For example, if you needed to just highlight these, for example, and say bold them so that the students can just easily see them. It's possible to do that. There's also appearance. You can play around with that. Where do you want it to appear? Then the common settings, you can show it on the course page, or you can hide it from students. You can also restrict access, as I said earlier on, by maybe if someone has completed a certain task, that's when they can be able to access it. And then activity completion, the students can manually mark it that they've completed, or it can be completed when certain conditions are met. For example, if someone has opened it and read through, then it can be marked as completed. And then we can save and return to course. Save and return to course. Now we see all those. We now have 2 topics over there. Now, you can decide and say, you know what? I want the symptoms to come before the description. Click on that cross and move it up there. And then you'll see that symptoms come before that. And then you can also decide to click and drag this down. You can just rearrange them the way you want them to be. Now, it's not only that you have to be typing. You could have created a file which you want your students to look through, and you have saved it on your computer. Let us see how we can upload that. Now for this case, I found a file which is, as you can see on your screen there, Operation Considerations for Case Management of COVID-19 in Health Facilities and Community. I just want to Operational Considerations for Case Management for COVID-19. I just want to copy that and put it as a new topic over here. So say you're going to teach this in your class, you're just going to paste it there. You know, it can be easy as well. You press enter, and then you say there are 2 options. You can decide to just link the document over here, to put a link to the document. This is important in case there's some documents that keep changing. For example, you have files that are updated every other day, every other time. You may want to just link the document to your course. So what are you going to do? You're going to click below here, add an activity or resource. And then you're going to say, if you scroll down here, you'll say URL. URL is Uniform Resource Locator. Now this one, you can click on that and say add. When you say add, it will bring you to such a page. It will ask you for the name. What's the name of it? Let's just say that one. And then external URL. Now the link, as you can see, we clicked on the World Health Organization here. Copy that and then paste it back here. Paste the link over there. Then you can just say here in the description, students must go through this document and prepare to answer questions accordingly. Okay? And then appearance. How do you want it to appear? You can edit a lot of things. You want it to be displayed automatically, embedded, open, in pop-up. Please just explore those and see which one works best for you. There's a lot of options when you're putting URLs. Embedding, we're going to look at that momentarily, as we shall see other things which you can do. Let me just put the screen only so that we have the maximum screen, and then all the other options which I've already looked at. Then you say save and return to course. Now you'll see the link will be displayed there. This is not the file itself. It is a link to the file which you found on the World Health Organization website. And then you can also decide to say, you know what, I want to put up an actual file on the site, not just a link to the other site, because you never know. They might remove it, they might edit it, and the link can fail at some point. Let's take a look at how we can do that. Yeah, that's it. As you can see, there's a file I already downloaded, which I want to add to the page for my students to read through and then also answer questions later on. All I do is go to that file, which is this one here. Let me just scroll down a bit. This one here, this is the one I want students to be able to read through. I go to add activity or resources, and then I scroll down here and I say file. The file is over there, and then let me just go down and say add. So now you have to look for your file wherever it could be, and then you'll add it. Now you see this part here of the drag and drop. I showed you already earlier on how you can drag and drop pictures. You can do the very same thing here with files. So in this case, you drag this file, click on it and drag it and just drop it over there. Now the file will be uploaded and you'll be seeing it there. That's the file over there. So the file has been uploaded. You see the logo of the PDF document, and you should describe the file. Just say please read through the file to get more info for the quiz. Now of course you'll have to write something more relevant to the file. Me, I've not read through the file, and so I'm just going to say another World Health Organization advisory on COVID-19, and then you scroll down, and I've already gone through all these options. You click save and return to course. Now once you do that, you see the file is listed over there. Remember, this first one we put is a link. This one is an actual file. This is how you can add files to your course units. Now we are going to look next at how we can add videos to the pages that you're going to be showing your students. You can embed it, you can put a link. We're going to take a look at that right now. Now for us to do that, we are going to create a new section under topic 4. Let's just create one. Let's look at our questions and answers here. What do we need to do? What are the symptoms? Symptoms, we already have that. What should I do? Blah blah blah. How can we protect others if we don't know who is infected? Good. How can we protect against COVID? So we're going to look at that. That will be our next topic, topic 4. How can we protect against COVID? All right. And then you press enter. We're going to add an activity. Let's just put a page here for the moment. Page. And then we're going to say, just for the sake of making it more realistic, and then we're going to say ways of protecting against coronavirus. Right, so we're just going to copy from World Health over here. Hand and respiratory hygiene is that one, blah blah blah, and then we are going to put that over here, and we shall say, for example, now we want to add a video. Okay, we want to add a video which will be in this exact. Let's first finish up with this. Oh, why did I put it here? It should be in the content, not over there. And then you say save and return, and then you want to add a video to the same. You're going to say add activity or resource. Now the video which we are going to do, we are going to just embed it and also add a link to it. So we're going to, let me just pause and get some videos. Just a second. Yes, perfect. I got one. This one looks promising. It says this is how to protect against novel coronavirus. So I saw CDC somewhere, so I said this should be good. Now you have two options. You can pick the URL from up here. See over there, you click there, and then you can pick the URL, or you can decide to click on the share button. When you click on the share button, it will also give you a URL. You can copy it from there. You'll notice it is similar to that. So you just click on copy, and then you go to the page where you want it to be. You're saying you're putting a URL over here, which is just a link to the video, and you add it. Yeah, when you add that, and then you put the link here, you post the link here, and you say how to protect yourself from COVID, and then you can say link to the video, and then best describe it so that your students know what it's all about, and then you save and return. Now we're going to look at the other option. You want, for example, to put it within these notes here. I wanted to show it earlier, but I thought we should get rid of the link thing first. You can link a video, or you can embed a video. Now this one will require some bit of technical know-how. Don't run away, it's easy. All right, it's quite simple. You're going to do what we call embedding. Now embedding involves frames, etc., etc. I'm going to show you this so that you can be able to embed certain videos in your notes. All right, let's go back there. You go back to the video, it's the video site. Remember, you click on the share. Now when you click on share, there's what we call, you see this first one, the embed option. I hope you can see that. You click on embed. Now embed will give you all this whole code over here. Just click on the copy button down here. Say that link copy to clipboard. So go back to the page which you're editing. This, and remember we created it earlier on. Scroll down. Maybe you want it to appear on the first part of your page here. Now you'll go to you enable all the other options in this, and then click on the HTML bit. See that? Now press enter and paste the embedding code that you copied from the other side. Just paste it there, and then you save. You can change some few things. For example, if you want to change the width of the video, you can change it. You want to change the height, you can change it, and some other things if you want to, but I advise that you just leave it the way it is. Once again, please don't run away. This is not that hard. Okay, it's simple. It's just a copy and paste. So after you have copied and pasted it there, click down here on the save and return to course. Save and return to course. Now already the video is embedded. Let's see what the student will see so far from what we have done. You click here on the on that icon, and then switch role to all right, then you say participants. Now the participants are the students. Remember, we renamed students to participants. Okay, don't let that confuse you. You can always edit and say I want it to be students, I want it to be participants, I want it to be mentees, or whatever you want to call your students. I'm just going to go back full screen over here. Yep, there we go. Then now this is what the participants see, what the students see. So when they come to that part where we embedded the video, they'll click on that how to protect yourself. Oh, is that the one? Oh yeah, that's it. How to protect yourself against coronavirus, and the video is displayed right there. Remember, this video, much as it's being displayed over here, is still being played straight from YouTube. This is the most preferred way of putting up videos. You can upload your own videos, that's okay, but it's better if you stream it from YouTube, because YouTube already has all the facilities necessary for you to have your videos. The tools are quite good, and it's, of course, anyone can search for your videos and find it, and it also reduces the load on the server that you're using. So let's continue. Let's see. This is what the students will see. You can always play around with it. So the student can just click here and play the video straight away. As you can see, it will play on the page of the student, etc., etc. Now you can also go down here and see what this is what the student sees. So the student sees, oh, these are the other topics, etc., etc., etc. So if there are other things, they would also be seeing it on the same page. We're going to go back to our teacher normal role. Click on that, the role of a teacher. Yep. So this is what we have made. Now, we're going to go back to the Corona page and enable editing, turn editing on. Now, say for example, you've run out of topics. Remember, now this is the final and the last topic. What else can you do? You want to add another topic. Don't run and don't try to jump out the window. There's a word for that. Disenfranchisement. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Disenfranchisement. Sorry, I learned that from a movie. Ignore that, okay? It's not relevant to this course. All right. You just go and click on add topics. Click on that. So it will ask you how many more topics do you want to add. For example, maybe you want to add one more. All right. Then you say add topics. Now, what would your new topic be? For example, if it's to be relevant to Uganda, what has the president talked about last? The truck drivers, right? The issue of truck drivers risk. All right. Then you press enter. So you're going to add. We are going to just embed a video in, for example, in a page here. Embed a video, and I found a video which the president was talking about that, and you might want your students to watch it directly. Then you say President Museveni talks about truck drivers issue. All right. Then you describe and say, please watch what the president said and respond accordingly. Okay. So scroll down and put the content. We are going to just embed the video, remember. So this is the video here. I'm going to click on that. That's the video. Then you go down and click on the share. Pause that. Click on the share button. When you click on the share button, you click on the embed. And then you can copy that. All right. And then you go back to the editing page and enable the HTML, which is over here, the last button down here. Then you just paste it. Paste what you've copied. And just a second, sorry. Just paste it over there. And then scroll down and save. Now, your students, when they open, they'll be able to see the video and they'll be able to watch it. And then we are going to see how to put, what is it saying? Oh, yeah, that's it. That's good. So they'll be able to see what you've put up there, and then they'll be able to watch it. And now we are going to look next at another thing. How are we going to test our students? Now, this is exciting, and you're going to find out why the gradebook was very important to set up at the start. So stay tuned as we're going to look at the next bit. Thank you so much. Now, so far we have looked at activities, which are lessons that you can give the students. We're going to look more at certain ones like mathematical ones and all that. But now we want to look briefly at things which you can grade, what you can mark. All right. So the very first thing we're going to look at is a multiple choice question. That's a favorite, right? So let's dig right in and we take a look at one of them. Now, for example, your student has finished reading through maybe the symptoms of coronavirus and all that. So we are going to add a quiz over here. We're going to say add activity or resource, and then you're going to say choice. All right, a choice. This is the multiple choice. You can read through here and see what options are available. Then you say add. Now you're going to give the choice a name. All right, for example, you can say maybe symptoms of corona quiz. All right, then you're going to describe it. All right, you're going to describe it and say, let's just say here, what are the symptoms of COVID-19? All right, then you go down here And then you ask yourself, how do you want it to be displayed, horizontally or vertically? You can leave it as horizontally. Allow choice to be updated. You can leave that as no. And then allow more than one choice to be selected. In case you want to put more than one answers which is correct, you can say yes. Maybe, for example, in this case, then limit the number of responses allowed. You can leave that. So option 1, you can say, for example, cough. What are the symptoms? Let me see here on the World Health Organization website. Symptoms is over here. Well, fever is one of them. So let's not give them some things which are too hard for now. Dry cough, I saw that somewhere. Let's go back and see. Dry cough, tiredness. Maybe you can say drowsiness. You have to put something which let's say, for example, maybe muscle ache. All right, something which is not correct also for the students to ignore. And then we go back here. Diarrhea. All right, let's say diarrhea. Okay, don't laugh at me, please. That's not an easy word to spell. Diarrhea, that one. Okay, so we put, I'm just copying and pasting. I hope World Health knows how to spell it better than me, but I don't remember it being that. Okay, you can have as many options as you want. If you want more than 5, you can click add. All right, click here. More of 3 fields will be added. So now availability. You can decide and say, you know what, I want this quiz to be done on a certain day. You say, I want it to be done from this date to the other date. All right. Maybe you say, you know that you're going to hold your class on a certain date, that the quiz should appear the day after. You can just enable that, but we're not enabling it for now. Now results. The results is saying do not publish results to students. You may want your students to see the results. And show them after the choice is closed. For example, publish anonymous results. Yeah, you can show their names, etc., etc. Show column for unanswered. You can say, yeah, if I want to, someone has not answered, and all that. There are all these options. Please feel free to go around with them. Then the common module settings are availability show on course page. Yes, it should be shown on the course page. If you want to hide it until a certain time when you want it to be displayed, then you can hide it for the moment. And then if you have an ID number for it, and then which groups you want to put, you know, some of you might decide to separate your students into groups. Groups are mostly common, like for example in institutions, whereby you say, I want this group to be doing this as a group coursework and all that. Yes, they can also answer it in groups. You'll have to define the groups earlier on or later on as your participants are created. So let's go back, and then we see we have also activity completion. Yeah, student can can mark the activity as completed. You can leave that as it is, and then you go down and then you say save and return to course. Now, once you have saved and returned to course, the students will be able to see that quiz with that multiple choice answer. But remember, we didn't define that in the gradebook. Let's see. We're going to add a quiz over here to this next one. Add an activity or resource. Then you're going to scroll down and say a quiz. All right. You add a quiz, and then you ask your students the questions that you want. Remember, here we are looking at the World Health Organization thing. So we're going to say briefly, okay, what are your thoughts on the World Health Organization considerations? All right. When you scroll down here, of course, there's the timing, the grade. Now, the grade, this is where now you put the categories. You say this is a quiz, all right? Remember, we defined the quiz earlier on in our grade book. Then the grade to pass. If you want your student maybe to get at least 20 to pass, all right? You can put it there, and the amounts of attempts which they can do. How many times you want them to redo it? You can say maybe 1 attempt. And then the layout, you can look through there, new page, every question, and then the timing, and all that. So now this one basically we're going to save and return to course. There are many other options that you're going to look at. Please feel free to look through them. Now then you get into the quiz itself. Now got a grade. Oh yeah, remember the quiz you can only get 10%. So let's say someone should have at least a 7 to pass. All right, go down and save and return to course. So the grades give a maximum mark of 10% as we set in the gradebook earlier on. So as it's saving, we can be looking at other options. Just give me a second here. Yeah, as you can see, the quiz has been added over here. Now you have to add the content of the quiz, of course. Now the contents of the quiz, you click on that, and then you can edit the quiz. All right, you see this, edit quiz. You click on that, and then edit quiz. It will load for you where you can now edit the quiz. All right, so now there we are. You're going to now add the questions that are going to appear in the quiz. To do that, you see under the shuffle here, you click on add, and then you say add a new question. You might have a question bank, or you might have random questions from questions which you've already set. So here we're going to say add a new question, and you're going to be given all the options. We have multiple choice, true or false, matching, short answer, numerical, essay, calculated, multiple choice, etc., etc. Now drag and drop markers and all that. But now for this course, for this training on how to use Moodle, we're just going to look at 2 or 3 of them. The very first one we're going to look at is the multiple choice, which is the first one there. So multiple choice, you say add, and then when you come to that, it will give you this page adding a multiple choice question. What is the question name? All right, the question name may be do you agree? Okay, then you say, do you agree with the World Health Organization guidelines? All right, then you can put here now that's something which is not multiple choice, is it? For example, you can say, what are the basic guidelines that WHO has put across? All right, that's the question itself. And of course you have all the other tools. You can edit whatever you want to edit, and then you go down here. Now general feedback, if maybe someone has done the question, default mark is 1. You can give 1 mark for that. If someone maybe, let's click here, if someone has completed the question, you can give a feedback. Okay, if someone has just answered the question, remember, gets closed immediately someone answers the question, it is closed. So you can put a feedback immediately after answering the question. So you can tell the student, for example, in this case I am expecting that you read through the documents and gave the correct answer. I don't know what you would say. All right, so ID number, you can put that, or you don't need to put the ID number of the question unless you want to be able to trace it later on. 1 or multiple answer, there should be maybe 1 answer only or multiple answers allowed. All right, then shuffle the choices. Yes, you can shuffle it. Now shuffling is important because there are times when students can do the test and then they go out and say, you know what, for question 1 the answer is C, for question 2 the answer is D. Shuffling will make sure that the answers are randomized. They don't appear in a certain order for every student. Each student will see it in a different way. So that's a good idea. So you can click on, you leave the shuffle choices on, and then the number of choices. How many do you want? What type of numbering do you want it to be? A, B, C, and all that. You choose 1. Then now choice number 1. For example, if World Health says wash hands, okay. Choice number 2, for example, this is a feedback. If someone chooses wash hands, you can say, well done, that is correct. All right, you're giving the person this is 100%. All right, you're giving the person a mark for that well done, this is correct, you have done very well. All right, then if someone says the next one, maybe you say avoid eating meat. All right, then you say how many grades are you giving? None, which means 0%. And then you can say no, meat is nice, and if you cook it well, COVID-19 risk is mitigated. All right, so we continue to choice number 3. You can say avoid using mobile money, because maybe there's no mark for that, so you can say incorrect. Yeah, virtual cash nowadays is safer. Okay, then you can just click down here and save. Now there are other options. You can put multiple tries. If they try multiple times, you can remove certain marks from them and all that, and then tags, and then of course you just click save changes. Now we're going to look at the next option, which is click on add, which is the true false option over here. Now this is where you have one option which is correct and the other one is incorrect. So you click say add, then you can say, for example, maybe COVID-19 is a hoax. So you just say COVID-19 is a hoax. All right, so is this true? Of course it's not true. So what's the correct answer? You're going to put of course here default mark, you say maybe 1, and then general feedback. Then down here you're going to look at, general feedback is what you tell the students whether they've passed the test or not. You just give them feedback after they have done it. Then you write something about the question, and then you go down here. The correct answer is false. All right, of course it's false. Then you say feedback for response true. You say really, why is the truth is people are dying because of the virus, so it cannot be true. All right, so you go down here, feedback. If the response is false, you say well done student. Okay, just something complimentary. Then you can say save changes. You can save and continue editing the same question, or you just say save changes. And then the last one we're going to look at, remember you already have 2 marks which have already been catered for. We're going to look at a new question. We're going to look at an essay. All right, you want the student to write something short. All right, they can write it offline and upload it, or they can just type it in. So the essay is here. You say I want you to have the question name. Okay, short essay. All right, you say please write a short essay on just a second, on what you read in the world, in the WHO documents attached. All right, you can just, and then you can say here the default mark. For example, you can say the essay can carry like 8 marks, right? Just say 8 over here, so that the total marks is 10. And then general feedback, you can say I expect you to write something which is relevant to the document. Of course, these ones you will mark it later. The mark is not given automatically. Then excuse me, response format, you might want to leave it on the default HTML or just plain text. Plain text is okay. If you don't want your students to be messing with HTML, then require the student to enter something. The student can decide and say I'm not going to answer this, but you can say no, I want you to type something within there. Input size is 15 lines. For example, you can say 10 lines. And then allow attachments, you may want to allow attachments or not. In this case, you may not want it. And then here, you can say the accepted file types. If you have allowed attachment, then you can also do that. Response template, okay? If you want some words to appear when your students are responding, they'll see those words, then they'll write over it. You can write it over there. And then grader information for graders. Please make sure, okay, if someone else is grading your work, make sure the student writes what is relevant to the guidelines attached to the question. Okay, then you say save changes. Now this one here is an essay. You'll have to read through it and award the marks yourself. We're going to see how that is done. So this is how you set up a quiz. All right, we're going to take a look at another one which is very relevant as well. So we go back to our course, which is the Corona course. And then, for example, you want to add something. How can we protect against COVID? All right. You add an activity or resource, and they're going to say, we're going to add the forum. All right. The forum option is very interesting. Students can have discussions among themselves. This time you want to engage the students. You also can add certain information on the forum. So you say add. Now a forum is very interesting. It's like a free thing. You can say, for example, protecting against COVID. You might want your students to start forums or to answer in forums, etc., etc. Describe the forum. All right. Discuss how to protect against COVID. Okay, and then now here you're being asked, what is the forum for? All right, you could have a single question discussion. Each person can post one discussion. Question and answer forum, standard forum displayed like a blog, or a standard forum for general use. For example, you want the student to post, okay, or you can have questions and answers. You click on the Q&A. Then you'll now look down here, availability, of course. When do you want the forum to be active? For example, you may want it to start on a certain date and stop on a certain date. And then attachments and word count. Do you want any attachments to be put? Maximum size, all right? Then word count, maximum number of attachments, 9 of them. And then you can say display word count. Yeah, you can say yes. You can do that. Subscription and tracking. If people want to be able to subscribe to the forum, you can force all your students to subscribe, auto subscribe, or disable subscription. Subscription means they'll be able to see updates on the forum. So you can read tracking. You can say off or optional. So if someone is reading the forum, you should be able to see, to track it and all that. Then discussion locking. Do not lock the discussions. All right. After a certain period, maybe you can lock it. Then you just look through the forum to see who was participating and give them marks for that. Post threshold for blocking. If someone, for example, posts time period for blocking, let's see here. This student can block from posting more than a given number of posts in a given time period. So, for example, you can say in 2 days, a student cannot post more than maybe 3 items. All right. Or you can just disable that. You say do not block. You disable that. Then grade. Grade category. Remember we said we have blog over here. Blog should give us some marks. And then the ratings. You can rate it. You can also decide to mark your students according to the ratings they get on their discussions. That one is if you decide to automate the forum thing. And then common module settings. Of course, you can go through all that as we have gone through already. And then restrict access if you want them to first accomplish something and then have access to the forum. For example, you can say activity completion. You choose the activity. What should they have gone through? They should have read through symptoms of coronavirus. All right. Must be marked as complete. All right. So you say, or if you want to say, for example, they should have first completed the thoughts on World Health Organization. Then you say must be marked as complete, or must be marked complete with a failed grade. So if they fail that one, then you bring them to this one here. But anyway, we can always ignore all these restrictions. And then activity completion, students can mark the activity as complete manually. All right, or you can say don't indicate or show activity as complete when conditions are met. What conditions? For example, the student has opened it. All right, student must view the activity, must receive a grade, must post discussions or replies, must create discussions. So you can put all these conditions so that they can mark the activity as complete. And then you expect the activity to be completed on a certain date. What date would that be? You can just click and then say you want it in June, maybe that one, and then you enable it. But we're not going to enable that. And then competencies here, you can say, for example, course competencies, these ones, there are certain things which may be linked to such an activity. You can create a badge and put it to that, etc., etc. Or you can attach evidence or send for review. You know, if you want the student to prove that they did something, you can always look through that. Then you're going to say save and return to the course. So you have created at this moment another thing which can be graded. Now we're going to look at another one. Then let's add one more. You say add an activity or a resource. In this case, we're going to look at a survey, for example, or let me see. Yeah, just going to say an assignment. Okay, an assignment. These are things which students can work on. They can type it offline and just attach it. All right, this is important. For example, if you want someone to do coursework and then type it in Microsoft Word and then send it to you. So this is assignment. Maybe you can say a case study on truck drivers. Okay, you can say the description here and then additional files. You can say using available online materials, discuss the issue of truck drivers increasing risk of the spread of COVID-19. References to the president's point of view will be a bonus. Okay, so you make sure they watch the video of the president that has been embedded. Now you can also add files. If you have some files you want to add, you can be able to add them there, drag them and drop them there. Then allow submissions from what date you want to allow them from. You can just disable that so that at any time they can be allowed. Then due date, when is the submission needed? When do they need to submit? And then the cutoff date, after what date can they not submit anymore? Then when do you want to be reminded to grade? You can put the date over there. And then now here, what type of submission do you want? You can have file submissions or online text. All right, word limit you can enable. You say I don't want it to be more than maybe 1,000 words of whatever they're going to type. Then you say maximum number of uploaded files. You can say I want only one file. All right, upload limit you can say 5 MB. That's okay. Then you say accepted file types, but you don't need to. If you don't click that, usually Word and you can use PDF, you can use other file types as submissions. Those ones are accepted and will not be rejected by the system. And then feedback types, you can click on that and view the options you get. You can say offline grading worksheet, etc. How will you be giving feedback to your students? Then submission settings. Do you require students to click on the submit button? You can say yes. For example, require students to accept the submission statement. This is important. The submission statement simply says that this is my original work. All right. So attempts reopened. You can say manually, automatically until pass. If a student you can give a chance the student to resubmit and all that. Then group submission settings. If you have certain groups, you can say students submit in groups. You can say yes, and then Of course, you'll have other options that will appear. You can require the whole group to make the submission, all group members to submit, and then grouping for students groups. You currently have none since you don't have a participant. Then notifications. How do you want the notification settings to be? You notify the graders about late submissions and etc, etc. Then the grade. All right, you're going to put here the grade, maximum grade here. Remember we said the maximum grade here is 10, not so? And then grading method, simple, direct, or you can use marking guide or rubric, which I'm told is famous. You academicians would know about that, but simple, direct grading is good. Then grade category, you can say this is research. All right. Then the grade to pass, you can say someone should get a 7. And then you'll mark that they have passed. Okay, there's blind marking. No, we don't want blind marking here. How hide grade identity? Well, you can choose to hide, but you don't need to. You are the teacher. Unless you hire someone, you don't want them to know. Then use marking workflow. No, you don't have to. If you want to, go ahead. Then common module settings, the same things we've been looking at. And then if you go down here, activity completion, students can manually mark activity as completed. All right, expect it to be completed by a certain date. You can enable it. Students will always get notifications that they need to complete whatever they're supposed to complete. So you can save and return to the course. Now we are going to see how this one can be graded and all that. Now we have taken a look at several gradable activities and resources, and these activities and resources are what now populate the gradebook that we made earlier on. We're going to add, of course, one exam because we need to have the whole thing complete. Exams carry up to 50%, and there are other activities as well. I'm just going to add them, then you'll see when they're already there, and then we'll wind up with the gradable activities and we see how to mark them. So let us go back over there. I will just only add them and then unpause and come and show you what I've done so far, and then we take a look at the gradebook and other options that are available. Now you can see that I've created exams down here. Just a second. I've created a new topic for exams. So I just want to, when you're feeling lazy, I just want to copy something here. I want to copy this quiz, for example, what are the symptoms of COVID, and make it as part of the exam as well. So I just go to duplicate, and you'll see that now there are 2 of them, and one of them is the copy. I can click on that and drag it down to the exam part, where it now becomes a part of the exams over there. I can just edit it and modify it to the way I want it to be. And just a second here, edit settings. All right, there we go. Edit these and all that, and you can make it part of the exams. So you'll be going here. Hold on just a second. Yeah, you can change all these settings, and make sure that you edit it. It's not supposed to be something which is the same as what you have, and then you can play around with all those, etc, etc. It's the same thing that I copied from up there. It's something which I needed you to see that you can do. You can be able to copy something and put it up for another person in another part of your course. In this case, you have put it in the exams section. You want someone to complete it as part of the exams. Now, of course, I don't want that to be in the exam side. I'm just going to delete it, edit, and delete. Now, if I want my students to do exams, I'm going to most likely use the quiz. Quiz allows you to add a lot of options, as you have seen already. You click on add an activity or resource, and then you click on the quiz, and then you click on add. This is the best for making exams, so you can say this is exams. Okay, you could have more than one exams and all that. Then here you can put a description. How do you want How do you want to describe it? How do you want, what instructions are you giving to your students? You can write them all there. Then you say the timing. You want the exam to be, for example, for a certain time limit. You can put on a certain date, or you can, but this is important, you can say I want the exam to be 1 hour. That would be 60 minutes. All right. And then open attempts that are submitted automatically. There's a grace period when attempts, all those options when the time expires. All right. You can be able to be gracious, or just say you just say no, I don't want to be gracious on that. Then grade, you're going to say here this category is exams over here. And the grade to pass, you can say I want someone to get at least 40% in exams. Attempts, you can say I want you to attempt it once, or if you're gracious, you say, you know what, try it twice. And then the grading method, you can take the highest grade. If someone does the exams twice, you can take the highest grade, or the average, or the first or the last attempt. You have the choice between those ones. Then you can say the layout of the exam. This is just like in the quiz which we looked earlier on, so we're not going to dwell so much on this. And then you say save and return to course. And then now you have to add, exams cannot be greater than 10. That's interesting, I didn't know that. Grade to pass should be 9 then. That's interesting. I thought we had put it at 50, but that's all right. Let's say we shall look back in the gradebook and see. So this is exams that has been created. You can click on that to add the questions. You say edit quiz, and then you add the questions. We have gone through this already. You can say add a new question. Then you can say I want this to be a short answer, or essay over here. Question name, you're going to say essay. All right. Write an essay on COVID-19, basing on what you have learned through this course, and how will this course affect the way you have been living your life before. Right, then default mark, let's say we're just going to give the whole 10 marks for the essay. Then general feedback, you can type it there, but in my case I'm just going to go down and say we're done. All right, save changes. So you have saved an essay. If the exam is just going to be one essay which they can be able to write, and then you'll mark later on. All right, now let's see which one else is missing out, and then we can add that. After taking a look, I do believe that all that you need in order to set up a course we have already gone through. Now there are some few things which we still have to do. For example, we're going to see how the students will be able to answer these things, will be able to read through, and will be able to answer the quizzes, etc., and how you'll be able to grade it. So we're going to take a look at that in our next video. In the meantime, please stay safe. Corona is a real thing, and please keep following all the guidelines about touching the mouth, the eyes, and the nose, and also keep social distancing and wash your hands as regularly as you can. God will protect you. Also be careful that you don't be careless over the coronavirus issue. Our president has given us good advice. Let's keep it. So till the next video, God bless you. See you then.